Chiefs Kingdom, how is everyone doing today? Happy Tuesday and another episode of the Ty Walker Show. I know it's a little bit late that we're doing this episode, but I kind of wanted to wait for all the wild card games to end before I make this Chiefs recap episode. So let's go ahead and get straight into this. The Chiefs, they win their first playoff game this season, beating the Miami Dolphins with a final score of 26-7. Chiefs look dominant in negative 30-degree temperatures. That was the wind chill in the game. They looked really dominant, and the Chiefs, they're looking to see that they got their groove back, and they're looking really good, especially after this game. Let's take a look at game stats, starting with the Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa was 20 of 39, 199 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Their leading rusher, Raheem Mostert, 8 carries, 37 yards. Their leading receiver is Tyreek Hill, 5 catches, 62 yards, and a touchdown. Most of those yards that Tyreek Hill had came on that touchdown catch. Trent McDuffie went on there and said that he wishes that he didn't allow him to catch that. Honestly, it wasn't McDuffie's fault. McDuffie had pretty good coverage. It's just Tua underthrew the ball because of the wind, and it ended up Tyreek Hill was able to come back to the ball and catch it. If it was a perfectly thrown ball, it probably would not have been caught. Trent McDuffie had really good coverage on Tyreek Hill on that play. For the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, 23 of 41, 262 yards, 303 total yards if you add his rushing yards and 1 touchdown. Their leading rusher, Isaiah Pacheco, 24 carries, 89 yards, and 1 touchdown. Their leading receivers, they had 2 good receivers in this game. Rashee Rice set a career high, 8 receptions, 130 yards, and 1 touchdown. That is also the Chiefs' rookie leading in receiving yards and catches by a rookie in a playoff game as well. He also had 1 touchdown. Also, Travis Kelce had a pretty good game as well, 7 receptions, 71 yards. On the defensive side, Mike Edwards had an interception. George Karlaftis has been looking excellent in a breakout year in his second season, 1.5 sacks. Chris Jones shared one of the sacks with Karlaftis with a half sack. And Harrison Butker on special teams was 4-4 on field goals. So, pretty good day for Harrison Butker. Looking at team stats in this game, Kansas City just dominated every single stat in this game. Total yards, Kansas City dominated that, 409 compared to Miami's 264. Passing yards, Kansas City dominated that, 262 for Kansas City, 188 for Miami. Rush yards, once again, Kansas City dominated that, 142 for KC, Miami only 76. Yards per play, Kansas City dominated that, 5.5 yards per play compared to Miami's 4.5. First downs, 25 for KC, 13 for Miami. Third down efficiency, 6 of 15 for KC, 1 of 12 for Miami. Fourth downs, Kansas City was 1 of 1, as Miami was 3 of 6. Total plays, Kansas City had 75, Miami had 59. Sacks allowed, Miami 2, Kansas City 0. Punts, Kansas City only punted it 3 times compared to Miami's 4. Penalties, Kansas City 5 penalties for 45 yards compared to Miami 8 penalties, 62 yards. Interceptions allowed, Miami only had 1. Allowed 1 interception, Kansas City 0. And then finally, time of possession, Kansas City dominated that as well. Chiefs held onto the ball for 34 minutes and 5 seconds compared to Miami 25 minutes and 55 seconds. So almost a whole 10 minutes more time of possession than Miami. Miami, they just didn't look good in the cold. Tua is now 0-11 in games under 40 degrees. And a game that wind chills for upwards of negative 30 degrees, the odds were definitely in their favor. So what's next for Kansas City? So Buffalo Bills, they have won their game. They won last night in Buffalo against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Kansas City on Sunday at 6:45 Central Time will head to Buffalo on CBS for the divisional round. A game that we all love to see. These two have had great battles over the years, especially in the playoffs. Josh Allen does have Pat Mahomes' number in the regular season, but in the postseason, it's been all Patrick Mahomes. So we'll just have to see what happens in this game on Sunday. Winner of that goes to the AFC Championship to either play the winner of the Texans or the Ravens. If the Chiefs were to win, then they have an opportunity in a home game. If the Texans beat the Ravens, which they are favored right now, the Texans would play the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Now, if the Ravens were to beat Houston, the Chiefs would have to go for a second road playoff game to go into Baltimore to play the Ravens. But that is going to be it for the Ty Walker Show today. I am your host, Ty Walker, and we'll see you guys next week to recap the game between Buffalo and Kansas City.